Hi fellow crafters! Are you looking for a new and easy technique to learn? Then you don't want to miss this video. If this is the first time you're visiting my YouTube channel, hi, I'm Terri from nutsaboutsstamping.com. I love sharing techniques and project ideas for rubber stamping, paper crafting, and scrapbooking with you each week. Be sure to hit the red subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you'll be the first to be notified when my next video goes live. Speaking of videos, be sure to watch all the way through this video for my bonus tips and design ideas. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I would love for you to choose me. I will link to my online stores in the description box under this video. Now this technique is super simple. All you need is ink, paper, and an embossing folder. And of course, if you want to add a phrase to the front of your card, you'll need a stamp set too. So be prepared to be wowed. I learned this technique this week from another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and knew right away that I needed to share it with you too. Here's what you do need to know. You want to choose a 3D embossing folder that has more than geometric designs on it. And you'll see why when I show you this technique. So I chose the Layered Florals 3D embossing folder for my card layer. There are so many ways to use this folder. You can try it with your favorite jeweled tone paper to make flowers that seem to pop right off the page, or you can go for a more monochromatic look with white or black paper to add a touch of subtle detail. You can also use your Stampin' Up! Blends or watercolor pencils to highlight the impressed flowers. Or you can try this gorgeous technique. So let me show you how. I have a layer of basic white and I want to pop it into the embossing folder and then take it over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and emboss this layer. I'll be right back. And there we go. It's beautiful. But for this technique, you actually want to apply color on the back or the debossed side. So the side that has the bumps up is the embossed side. We're going to use the debossed side. So I'll get set up and I'll show you how to add color to this layer. So the next step is to choose colors that you want to use for your debossed layer. So I've decided on Granny Apple Green, Gorgeous Grape, and Fresh Freesia. And you're going to apply the colors using your blending brushes. So I'm going to start with Granny Apple Green, and there are some leaves on this layer. So, and I'm using a scrap piece of grid paper to pull some of the color off before I add the color on. So I'm going to find the leaves on the debossed layer and add some green to those leaves. The next thing I want to do is add Fresh Freesia, and I am going to add that color to the smaller flowers on the embossed layer here, or debossed layer, I should say. Now, you might be thinking that this is starting to look a little messy, and yes, I agree with you, it is, but don't worry about it, and you'll see why in a minute. So now what I want to do is take my last blending brush and Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to apply Gorgeous Grape ink to the largest flowers on this debossed layer. Okay, that's what it looks like. Now, the last step is to take a dark color ink. I decided I'm going to use Basic Gray, and you want it to be a foam pad. I did try this technique with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. Didn't work as well as when I used my Basic Gray. So pick a darker color, and then what you want to do is turn your pad over and you just want to swipe down the front of your layer. And then you can turn it and you can swipe the other way and then turn it and so on. You don't press hard. You barely press on it. What you want to do is just apply the black ink to the raised parts of this card front. And yes, it does get a little messy on your fingers, but oh, look, isn't that just gorgeous? And that's this cool technique. So now let's turn this into a card. Now the next thing I want to do is create a phrase for the front of my card. And I'm going to use the Softly Sophisticated stamp set. You can earn this set for free during celebration. I will link over to my blog article in the description box under this video, so you can learn all about celebration and get a complete listing of the supplies that I used to make this card. I'm going to stamp my phrase using fresh freesia because that's one of the colors that I applied to the card layer. And then to die cut it out, I'm using one of my Something Fancy dies, and I'm going to use this die. So I'll head on over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I'll die cut it out, and then we'll finish off the card. My card base is Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to have it as a landscape card instead of a portrait card. And then what I want to do is take this beautiful layer that we just created, and I want to adhere it down using multi-purpose liquid glue. Now I want to take my phrase and I want to attach it to the front of my card. I'm going to leave everything flat on my card. Normally I use Stampin' Dimensionals, but this week I think flatter is better. And then it's time to talk embellishments. What comes to mind right away when I think about embellishments are these purple fine shimmer gems. I think they're gorgeous and they match the colors that I used on my card. My card itself is a standout, so I think I'm just going to add a couple of gems to my phrase. And there we go. We've got a gorgeous card idea that was so easy to create. Don't you agree? Now, I have a quick question for you. How would you decorate the inside of the card knowing that the outside looks like this? I would love your ideas if you wouldn't mind sharing them with me in the comments section underneath the video. And as I said, if you would like a complete listing of the supplies that I used and the measurements for the layers, which are pretty simple, I will link over to my blog article. You can get all the information you need there, as well as the product ordering numbers in case you want to order the products that I used to create this card as well. I'm Terry. I am Nuts About Stamping. I'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.